out with, the Iraq thing would soon be solved. But the same thing for our inner city problems. If we had people, and I think they're trying to do that, who are actually out of the communities and living in the communities, and when they get the jobs, don't move out of the communities, but stay in the communities. Don't then move out to some suburb someplace and have, you know, a more, shall we say, undisturbed life. But stay in there, then all these crack houses and every other gang type things that we think are endemic would be cleaned up so quickly you wouldn't believe it. And that is good. People who really did their jobs the way they were supposed to and lived there. It would soon be over, completely split. So yeah, policemen like that who have loyalty to the population finally, even though they are authority figures, can make all of the difference. And in this movie, he made all of the difference. And he became a swing figure. Didn't he? Any other observation, any other character that is of interest? I don't know if anyone has seen other anything. Well, okay, thanks for looking at that movie. Now we come to a very odd book, which is a companion book to that, because it is talking about shamans and shamanism. And it is a really weird book. It's almost unreadable in parts. Particularly the whole second part is unreadable, where he analyzes the so-called teachings. And I don't expect or ask you to read any of that. It's so pathetically stupid and unreadable. And you see, people don't care. People don't care. They still have bought this book. It was a bestseller, so it doesn't matter. You can write complete gibberish, and as long as something in the book catches people's fancy, the book will catch on and sell. So remember, there's hope. If any of you want to be writers, there's hope for you. Half, 3/4 of your book can be tomfoolery, and as long as a third of it or a quarter of it is exciting or magnetically attractive, you're on your way. I write. You can look me up on Amazon or any of those things, Barnes & Noble or whatever. You'll find me, including the negative comments and the positive comments. Lately there's been a write-in campaign against me, but when my book first came out, it was all positive because people couldn't understand it and they really were impressed by it. But then some fanatic idiot maniacs were told that this book is threatening, so now they've been all told to write in, even though they haven't read the book, in order to damage, because it used to have, I don't know, in Amazon it was like they would rate it, was it 5.0 or 4.0 or something. Anyway, it had this huge high rating of 4.0 or something like that, but now it's been seeping down to 3 and 2.5 because these latter day people who've been organized by hate groups against me, for instance, have been mobilizing their ranks to write stupid letters in order to bring the ratings down. But it doesn't matter. The book already sold well enough, so it doesn't matter. It's a book, by the way, you'll find in there, James, the brother of Jesus. But it isn't a lot of. I mean, there are other books that are on there from me too, but. How did I get on that subject?
You're in the bookstore lounge.
Huh? Oh, that there's hope for writers. That's it. Thanks a lot. That there's hope for writers and me. There's hope for me because I have to admit, and if you read my book, 2/3 of it is incomprehensible. And I'm the first to, isn't that right, Noel? About half of it is incomprehensible. It's 1,000 pages, and there's only about 350 pages that are sensible, and the other 750 or 650 are really, unless you're really clever, you probably wouldn't be able to understand or make much sense out of it. But you see, there's hope for people even like me. If you can have 1/3 of it that's sensible, you're on your way. And this book here, I mean, I'm smarter than this guy. And my book is 5 times as long as his, so that makes me 5 times smarter than he is. But in any case, he wrote this as a PhD thesis. This is a PhD thesis. They weren't giving out PhDs for theses like this in my day. But anthropology is obviously an odd field. So some of you like me, and how many are anthropologists in this room? Well, none of you. So looks like a field that's losing its draw or attractiveness. In any event, this was done at UCLA, so it makes you wonder about that institution. And this seems to have passed. But it became a cult book back in the late 60s, early 70s. And, you know, it caught on at the time that LSD and all that stuff was being made popular by the Beatles and the other spin-off groups around the Beatles, the Rolling Stoners, and people like that, who are still going strong. If they were so drugged up, you'd think they'd be dead already. So you've got to say that these guys were just faking. They weren't really doing it. And I know Mick Jagger. I met him in London because his wife was interested in my book, so I had a chance to meet him just last year. And that guy is all there. And I tell you, he's not a Rolling Stoner. He likes women. That's his only flaw. I mean, any woman he sees, he'll like. It'll be like you know, an antenna sort of. You know, which is why his wife has moved out and moved him out of the house next door to him too. I think finally, even though they have about 4 or 5 children together. But those guys are all there, and those guys that last that long, believe me, they're not on drugs. They are all there. Their brain is cooking constantly, and they're totally in control of their facilities. And they know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly where they're going, and there's no lack of focus or unconscious rage or behavior going on at all. And then that's the mark, I think, of someone who really has it together and knows where they're going. People say, well, you know, why don't you just try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you try that? No, I like a clear mind. The whole thing of my personal life is to keep my mind clear, not befogged, not, you know, befuddled, not like, you know, in some other state of being which is unclear. And that's a kind of, as I said, escapism. But the main thing is try to keep your brain clear. So I don't think that reading a book like this is going to bring people down or tear people down or do anything like that. Because to my mind, the thing that is most attractive is getting your brain clear, not in a state of trance or lack of clarity. So I don't think in the end these things are attractive at all, except to the adventurer. And the adventurer is going to look for adventure. Female or male, I don't care what it is. The adventurer type person wants new experiences. They're going to go after new experiences. That's what their aim is, and they're just into the jag, if you want to call it that, or the hype, or whatever it is that the new experience gives them. I don't know what you would call it, the high, or whatever it is that the new experience gives them. And after the experience gets old, then they go on to something else. They need that. They need that. But if you're a person who prefers clarity of mind, then these kind of experiences really do not possession. So people say, why are you doing a book on peyote in a class like this? Well, because I think it does represent something about early religion of mankind. It was part of native South American religious practice, probably still is. People still go to these areas to get these condiments, if you want to call them that. And they're allowed to, apparently, if it's for a religious purpose. And they go from all over North and South America to harvest or collect or get a hold of some of these things to use in early religious native